This was the last leg in the last fight, and I don't like to speak and like to be pretty quiet about it.
Superstitious.
And you were over there texting me, this ring walk is going to be longer than this fight. This national anthem.
And that's not my way. When we bet, I am like him. He's like me. He got it from me. Superstitious. We don't say nothing. We button up. We shut our mouths. We try not to get in the way of a victory, and we just sit there quietly. We don't want to screw anything up. But this time I was a little out of character. You're right.
Yeah, and that I didn't know how to take it. And you said the Saudi national anthem will be much longer than this fight. You kept going, more and more text, and how quickly this would end, and you were right. I mean, it wasn't a contest. It wasn't a fight. Some might say Dillian Whyte looked like an amateur in there. Some might say he looked like a shot fighter in there. Didn't really get a time to even settle in. Itauma does what he's been doing to everybody, destroying people. First, second round knockouts for the most part. This one, again, only a minute plus into the first round. But it's hard for some to gauge, but the prospects of Itauma, right? When you're in there versus a guy, and we didn't get to see a lot, right? And you want to see more. I got to see some things I think that stand out. I got to see him still thinking, right, and using feints. Got to see that power.
Hey, there are some English whizzes out there. Don't forget, there are some English professors watching here. Is it Itauma or
It's Itauma. If I said Itauma, I got excited, but it's Itauma. Okay. We'll make sure we get this one right now.
Hey, it's no problem for me if you Itauma, tomato, tamale. It's fine with me, bud. Either way, but there are those people out there that will be watching the pronunciation, because I'm sure that they pronounce everything perfectly. The problem is they probably don't know a left hook from a meat hook. That's where the problem comes. To me, the only thing I try to do right is pronounce jab properly, and hook, and right cross. Did I get those good?
You got them good.
Thank you, Rich. Thank you, bud.
Moses Itauma. But what I was saying, bud, is you could see the power. You could see the explosion. You could see a thinking fighter using some feints to undress Dillian Whyte. And then when he hurt him, he finished him, right? So I don't want to get too carried away, but what did you gauge from this fight? What did you learn if you didn't already know about Moses? And is he worth all of this hype at only 20 years old? Is he the most hyped up guy since, you tell me? But Turkey is saying he wants Usyk versus Itauma next. Just want to get your take on this fight, and then we could talk about what do you want to see potentially next for Moses Itauma.
He's special. He's 20 years old. He's a good kid. He seems to have a good head on his shoulders, not just boxing-wise, but life-wise. Seems to have people around him in his life. He's got a great promoter in Frank Warren, but he seems to have, I don't know his family, but I would think he's got family. He's got people around him that seem to have done a really good job with him as a human being. Forget about fighter. Again, he just seems like a kid you want to root for. A kid that's not over the top with the way he behaves and everything. He's grounded. He's humble. He really makes a good presentation of himself. And he's special. He's big. He's young. He's got fast hands. He's got fast feet. Not only his hands get to the target fast, his feet bring you to the target fast or bring him to the target fast like a young Pacquiao did. I mean, he closes gaps really fast. Like 1 second you think he's not there, and bang, it's like driving a car. You got to be careful with this guy. It's like driving a car, bud. You know me. I'm always on you and Nicole about driving. Even now that you're older and you got kids, everything, I'm always like, I won't leave you alone. I'm paying in the you-know-what. Like I was saying, don't just look in the rearview mirror. Turn around, turn your head, and make sure somebody's not in a blind spot. Make sure it's no. But even then, I say, if you look down the road, there might be some madman coming at 120 miles an hour that you don't realize he's coming that fast. And by the time you turn your head back and then you make the change to the lane, he's there. That's him. He's that guy coming 120 miles an hour. You turned around, you look down in the back of the road, and you didn't see anybody coming. So you turn back, and now in that 2 seconds that it takes now to change lanes, he's there because he was going 120 miles an hour. That's Itauma or Itauma, whatever the hell it is. He's fast. Whether he's Tuma or Tama, he's fast. And you got to realize that when you fight him. His hands only are going to get to you in a quick fashion. But as I said, his feet will bring his hands to you really, really fast. He has good eyes. He's calm in an uncalm environment. That's what makes him a great finisher. He sees everything. He knows where to go, where not to go. He doesn't waste anything. That's amazing for me, how this guy doesn't waste anything. Oh, my God. He is well-trained. Ben Davidson and his other coaches that were there before Ben Davidson, give them credit. They've taught this guy good technique. All the technique he's going to need to go with that fabulous ability that God gave him, that his parents bequeathed on him in genetics. You can have all the ability in the world, but you have to have the technique to use it properly. He has that too. He's been taught really well. I don't see anything he don't have. Maybe he could keep his chin a little lower. I would probably say put your chin down a little bit, but come on, now I'm nitpicking. Nobody's even gotten near his chin. They haven't had a chance to get near it. I don't know what else I can add to what I just don't want to be missing anything. But he places his punches. His hands are heavier than they look. They look like feathers. They're so fast. But meanwhile, the result of them touching you is like there's bricks in them. They come at you like they come at you like it's feathers, but with the results of bricks. He's got heavy hands, and you don't get that combination of speed and power too often. Mike Tyson had it. But he's a different kind of guy. He's got longer arms than Tyson. He's got, a different approach, different options than Tyson had. Tyson's option mostly was make you miss, make you pay, come forward, break you down. This guy could step out on you and do it, step in. I mean, he's got terrific footwork. I don't see anything negative about him. Sometimes you see a guy like that, it's too good to be true. You say, well, he's going to screw it up himself because of his lack of character or his lifestyle outside. I don't see that. I mean, there's no evidence of that. Matter of fact, there's the evidence of what I started this about. What a terrific kid he seems to be. Listen, he's got to fight somebody who's going to give him some rounds. How old was Dillian Whyte?
Yeah, Dillian Whyte, 37 years old.
Okay, he's got to, I'm not going to say no more about that. Dillian Whyte's had a terrific career. He's made a lot of money. He's been in a lot of wars, he's given a lot of pleasure to people out there. He's had a good career, and he's fought everybody. But at this point, there was no worse guy you could put a 37-year-old guy who's been in a lot of tough fights in there with than a talented young kid like this. I mean, that's where when you're old, you get older fast with a guy like this. He needs to get some rounds, yes, to answer some questions that he still has to have privately inside his own heart and mind. Can I depend on myself? I'm sure he's going to give you the right answers, and he's going to believe it. He's confident. Yeah, when the time comes, I'm going to win the title. He said that. Somebody asked him. I love the way he answered it. He said, I can tell you when I do fight for the title, there is no doubt. I am winning it. That's great. But he's got to get some, just the experience to back up that confidence. To tell him, yeah, you're right. You can depend on yourself in all situations. All situations. So, who would I like to see him with? Believe it or not, I'm going to surprise you. But then once I say, you know boxing too well, you're not going to be surprised. But at first, people out there will. I'd like to see him with Hrgovic. Really, because Hrgovic showed me a terrific chin. I don't know. I'd love to see if that chin could hold up to this kid. And I'll tell you right now, I don't know if any chin can. So that's where Hrgovic might have to be taught before that fight a little defense or more defense. But having said that, Hrgovic, a big guy, an experienced guy, a guy who's right there as far as top heavyweights. Before you go to any title fight, I'd love to see that fight. I'd love to see that for him. He might get some rounds out of that, whatever. I would also wait on a Usyk fight. I know that Turki Al-Sheikh is talking about that, and that might come to pass with the money and everything else. But for me, if I'm with Moses, I'm saying let him get one or two more fights before we go to the top of Mount Everest. Let's climb a couple more peaks. Let's go. There's a mountain over there, and there's another one over there. Let's climb them, and then we're ready for the ultimate. So you got Parker, who's of course got one of the belts. He's tremendous, experienced guy, and not only experienced guy, Parker, but he is at his best. You know what I mean, bud? He has gotten to that sweet spot in your career where you're clicking on all cylinders. You know, with Andy Lee, with everything, he is in the best position of his life right now. The way he's fighting, he is a Parker who is parked in the best neighborhood he's ever been in. He is at his best now. So you got him. You got Cabiel, who I love, who I identified before he got on the scene, before he became a top contender. I identified as a guy that you better look out for. And you better look out for that guy. That guy's real. But I would go in those directions before Usyk. I don't want to see the Usyk fight with him. And I'm very honest about the reason why. I want to see Usyk go off to the sunset. I'm not saying he can't beat him. I'm not saying that. I wouldn't go against Usyk with anybody. He is that special. But I think at this point of his career, after Usyk gets through his next fight, let him go off into the sunset. What's wrong with that? We haven't had an undefeated heavyweight champion in the history of the sport except for Rocky Marciano. What's wrong with having a good ending? I don't see anything wrong. He earned the right. He also earned the right to fight whoever he wants, and knowing the temperament of Usyk, he'll say, bring on the youngin'. The youngin'. Bring him forward, please. Please. So maybe that'll wind up being. That's my feeling.